Blockbuster ignored streaming. Kodak dismissed digital cameras. Nokia shrugged off smartphones. We always tell the same story. They got lazy, they stopped innovating, they lost touch. But what if I told you they actually did everything right? In 1997, Harvard professor Clayton Christensen published The Innovator's Dilemma, a book that flipped business strategy on its head. His core argument? The very management practices that make companies successful are the exact reasons they get destroyed by disruption. Today, we're breaking down Christensen's framework, the real-world examples he used, and how you can spot the dilemma before it hits your industry. Stay until the end for the actionable playbook Christensen actually recommends. The core framework: sustaining versus disruptive. Christensen starts by drawing a line between two types of innovation. Sustaining innovation improves existing products for existing customers. Faster processors, better cameras, longer battery life. Companies are great at this. They have the R&D, the supply chains, and most importantly, the customers asking for it. Disruptive innovation looks completely different at launch. It's usually cheaper, simpler, smaller, and honestly, worse. It underperforms on the metrics mainstream customers care about, but it opens a door to people who were previously non-consumers or overserved by expensive products. Sustaining innovation. Better performance for current customers. Higher margins, lower risk. Measured by familiar ROI metrics. Disruptive innovation. Simpler, cheaper, initially inferior. Targets non-consumers or low-end markets. Improves rapidly along new performance curves. The trap? Disruptive innovations start in markets too small to matter to industry leaders. By the time they improve enough to threaten the mainstream, it's too late. Value networks and the customer feedback loop. Christensen introduces a crucial concept: value networks. A company isn't operating in a vacuum. It's embedded in an ecosystem of customers, suppliers, investors, and distribution channels that all reward the same thing: predictable, high-margin growth. When customers say, "We need 20% more storage," you listen. When Wall Street demands 15% YoY growth, you prioritize projects that deliver it. That's rational management. But it's also blinding. Disruptive innovations don't fit inside that network. They serve customers who don't exist yet, or who can't afford your current products. Market research literally says no to them. Financial models kill them. And that's the dilemma. Why good companies miss disruption. 1. Resource dependence. Capital flows to projects with proven returns. 2. Customer-driven innovation. Listening to best customers blinds you to non-consumers. 3. Margin mismatch. Disruptive markets start small with lower gross margins. 4. Measurement trap. Evaluating new markets with old financial metrics. Real examples from the book. Christensen didn't theorize in a vacuum. He studied entire industries. Let's look at 3 examples straight from the book. First, disk drives. In the 1970s and 80s, the industry shifted from 14-inch to 8-inch to 5.25-inch to 3.5-inch drives. Each new size held less data and was initially slower. Mainframe makers ignored 8-inch drives. Mini-computer makers ignored 5.25-inch. PC makers ignored 3.5-inch. Why? Because the new drives didn't meet the performance needs of their best customers. But the new drives appealed to entirely new markets: personal computers, laptops, portable devices. Within a few years, the smaller drives improved capacity, caught up, and then surpassed the older formats. The incumbents didn't fail from poor execution. They failed because they followed their customers. Second, steel mini-mills. Integrated steel mills spent billions on massive plants to make high-quality sheet steel. Mini-mills used electric arc furnaces to melt scrap metal. Their first product? Rebar. Low margin, low quality. Integrated mills happily let them have it. Then mini-mills moved up to angle iron. then structural beams, then eventually sheet steel. Each time, integrated mills retreated upmarket, chasing higher margins, until there was no upmarket left. The cost structure of mini-mills made them unbeatable. Third, hydraulic excavators versus cable shovels. Cable shovels dominated large-scale digging. Hydraulics arrived with lower bucket capacity and shorter reach. Contractors laughed, but hydraulics were cheaper, easier to maintain, and precise enough for residential and utility work. They captured the small job market, improved rapidly, and eventually took over the mid and large segments too. In every case, the disruptive technology started below mainstream needs, improved faster than the market demanded, and eventually crossed the threshold where it could steal the core customers. The dilemma explained. So why couldn't these companies just adopt the new technology early? Because just doing it would have violated every principle of good management. If a disk drive CEO in 1980 had pivoted to 5.25-inch drives, their largest customers would have canceled contracts. Their engineers would have been pulled off high-margin projects. Wall Street would have punished the stock for lower short-term returns. Christensen's point isn't that leaders were stupid. It's that they were trapped by the economics of their own success. Disruption isn't a failure of vision. It's a structural inevitability when you optimize for today's customers and today's margins. How to fight the dilemma. Christensen's playbook. But Christensen didn't just diagnose the disease. He prescribed a treatment. If you're leading a company or building a startup, here's how you navigate it. Surviving disruption. Spin off an autonomous unit. Don't force disruptive projects into the core business. Give them separate P&L, leadership, and metrics. Target non-consumers or low-end footholds. Don't compete with your best customers. Find people who are priced out or overserved. Use discovery-driven planning. Treat early disruptive markets as experiments. Measure learning, market creation, and iteration speed, not just ROI. Accept lower margins initially. Disruptive economics look bad on day one. Judge them by trajectory, not starting point. Don't ask your best customers what to do. They'll tell you to improve what they already buy. Look at who isn't buying. The key insight? Disruption requires a different organization, not just a different strategy. The Innovator's Dilemma was published in 1997, but it's never been more relevant. Today's AI agents, cloud-native startups, and modular EV platforms are following the exact same pattern. The question isn't whether disruption will hit your industry, it's whether you'll recognize it while it still looks too small to care about. If you found this breakdown useful, hit subscribe. We do deep dives on the books that actually shape how markets move. Drop a comment below. What's an industry today that's ignoring a worse, cheaper alternative? I read every reply. Thanks for watching. Keep building, keep questioning, and I'll see you in the next one.